slept with Chase and got pregnant. Revenge for Gio being BLQ and Dante's child. Spoilers. Chapter 1. The Unveiling of Secrets. Brooklyn Quartermain, BLQ, had always been the queen of secrets. From her manipulative schemes to her deeply buried vulnerabilities, she thrived on control. But this time, the secret wasn't hers to control. It was Dante Falconeri's. And it involved her son, Gio. For months, Brooklyn had suspected that something was off with Dante's behavior. He was too protective of Gio, too invested in the boy's life for someone who was supposedly just a friend. When she overheard a hushed conversation between Dante and Olivia, her suspicions were confirmed. "You can't keep this from her forever," Olivia whispered. "She'll never forgive me," Dante replied, his voice heavy with guilt. Brooklyn's heart raced. What was Dante hiding? She decided to dig deeper, and what she uncovered shook her to the core. Dante was Joe's biological father. The child she believed was hers and Valentine's was the result of a one-night stand she barely remembered with Dante years ago. Chapter 2. The Betrayal. The revelation left Brooklyn reeling. How could Dante keep this from her? How could he let her live a lie? Her anger boiled over, and she confronted him in the most dramatic way possible, at a family gathering in the Quartermain mansion. "You lied to me," she shouted, her voice echoing through the room. "You're Joe's father, aren't you?" The room fell silent. Dante's face turned pale, and Olivia's eyes filled with tears. "Brooklyn, I can explain," Dante began, but she cut him off. "Explain what? That you've been lying to me for years? That you've been playing happy uncle while hiding the truth?" The Quartermains watched in stunned silence as Brooklyn stormed out, her emotions a whirlwind of betrayal and heartbreak. Chapter 3. A Dangerous Alliance. Determined to take back control of her life, Brooklyn sought solace in an unexpected place. Harrison Chase. Chase had always been her rock, the man who saw through her bravado to the vulnerable woman underneath. But this time, she didn't just want comfort. She wanted revenge. "Chase," she said, her voice trembling with a mix of desperation and determination, "I need your help." Chase raised an eyebrow. "What's going on, BLQ?" She hesitated, then blurted out, "I want to make Dante pay. He lied to me, and I can't let him get away with it." Chase's expression softened. "Brooklyn, revenge isn't the answer." "Maybe not, but it's all I have right now," she replied. Despite his reservations, Chase couldn't say no to her. He'd always had a soft spot for Brooklyn, and he hated seeing her in pain. What started as a plan to make Dante jealous quickly escalated into something neither of them expected, a passionate night that changed everything. Chapter 4. Consequences. Brooklyn woke up the next morning with a mix of regret and satisfaction. She'd crossed a line, but she'd also felt alive for the first time in weeks. Chase, however, was racked with guilt. "Brooklyn, we need to talk about last night," he said, his voice heavy with concern. She waved him off. "It was a one-time thing. No big deal." But it was a big deal. Weeks later, Brooklyn realized she was pregnant. The timing couldn't have been worse. She was already dealing with the fallout from Dante's betrayal, and now she had another secret to contend with. Chapter 5. The Truth Comes Out. Brooklyn's pregnancy didn't stay a secret for long. Olivia noticed her sudden aversion to certain foods, and Monica's sharp eyes caught the subtle changes in her demeanor. When the truth finally came out, it sent shockwaves through Port Charles. "You're pregnant?" Dante asked, his voice a mix of disbelief and anger. "Is it Chase's?" Brooklyn didn't answer, but her silence spoke volumes. Dante's jaw tightened, and he stormed out, leaving her feeling more alone than ever. Chapter 6. Redemption and Forgiveness. As the months passed, Brooklyn began to question her choices. She'd acted out of anger and hurt, but her actions had only caused more pain. With the help of Chase, who remained steadfastly by her side, she started to rebuild her life. Eventually, she confronted Dante again, this time with a different approach. "I'm sorry for how I handled things," she said, her voice trembling. "But you hurt me, too. We need to find a way to move forward for Joe's sake." Dante nodded, his expression softening. You're right. Gio deserves better than this. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. In the end, Brooklyn's journey was one of growth and self-discovery. She learned to let go of her need for control and to trust the people who truly cared about her. Her relationship with Chase deepened, and they prepared to welcome their child into the world together. As for Dante, he and Brooklyn found a way to co-parent Gio without letting their past mistakes define their future. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was a hopeful one, and in Port Charles, that was all anyone could ask for.